Hey folks, welcome to my next backpacking adventure, and this trip is going to be a special one. This is one that I've been planning and waiting for all year, and this week we will be backpacking the Grand Teton National Park. So I've just arrived here. I am camping for a couple nights at the Jenny Lake campground, staying 2 nights just to kind of get situated before my trip. I'll be backpacking for 5 days, 4 nights, going around the Teton Crest Loop that circumnavigates the Tetons, and just getting ready for tomorrow. Make sure I've got all my gear packed away and ready to go. Welcome folks, I have just arrived at the Death Canyon trailhead where I am about to start my 5-day epic backpacking journey of the Teton Crest Trail Loop. Today is day one, it's my biggest day. I'll cover about 15 miles. For the first 7.5 miles, I hike to Teton Village, and then from Teton Village, I will take the tram up to Rendezvous Mountain. Hopefully I'll take a break, possibly grab some lunch up there at the cafe. And then I have another 7.5 miles until I hike into the Upper Granite Camp Zone. So that is my day today. I've been waiting for this trip all year. Finally was able to secure the permits that was needed. And I am so looking forward to this trip. So let's go get after it. Be alert, make noise, carry bear spray, which I do have. Avoid hiking alone. Do not run. During a surprise encounter, slowly back away. If the bear charges, stand your ground and use your bear spray. If the bear attacks during a surprise encounter, play dead. If the bear persistently stalks you, then attacks, fight back. If a bear attacks you in your tent, fight back. There is no guarantee of your safety in bear country. All right, let's go on a little hike. So we will be taking the Valley Trail. We'll be taking it all the way to Teton Village. Looks like that's 7.4 miles. So that's the first part of my little stretch here. It's a little up and down. I think I saw maybe 300 feet elevation gain over this first mile and a half. Then it kind of dips down towards Phelps Lake and then back up towards Teton Village and then back down. But I don't think it's anything too bad. So let's see what the day brings. I am just 1 mile in at Phelps Lake, and it's like doesn't look like a cub, but hey bear! Hey bear! There's another one.
See another one?
You said you saw another one?
So maybe 100 yards up there was another one.
Oh, that was an interesting encounter. I'm about 1.2 miles into the trail. Heard these ladies yelling, "Hey bear." Just thought they were being precautious. And then there's this young adult cub, wasn't a baby, walking up the trail. So again, try to get some shots of it. Obviously I wasn't trying to get too close, and they told me they thought they may have heard another one down here 100 yards or so. So I'll be keeping my eyes open. I'll be singing, playing some music, trying to be loud, make a lot of noise, and hopefully we'll get through. So here's my turn. So I've been walking the Death Canyon Trail. It's the same as the Valley Trail so far. The Death Canyon Trail goes up through there and goes to the Death Shelf Canyon. What a name. I will be taking the Valley Trail to Teton Village, which looks like it's about 5.8 miles. Hopefully no bear encounters. All right, I'm about 3.5 miles into the trail so far, still in the forest. It's been 2 miles since I saw the one young bear on the trail. There ain't a couple of people. There were actually 3 bears there. I didn't see the cub that somebody saw. and then there was another one in the bush that I heard that I never saw. So I walked with a group of folks for a little while, but got my bear spray, keeping it in hand, and so far, no issues. Playing my music, just singing along, hopefully scaring any wildlife off, and it has been a beautiful morning so far. Well, here I am in Teton Village, and I just picked up my tram ticket at the Jackson Hole tram ticket office. I'll be getting on the tram and I'll be heading up to Rendezvous Mountain, and that's where I'll have my lunch up there. There's a pretty cool waffle place that you can get, and so I'll be looking to have lunch up there. It's like Nutella and peanut butter waffles, I think some bacon, so it sounds pretty cool. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Hello, and welcome to the Jackson Hole Mountain Resort, operating in partnership with the United States Forest Service.
Starting the second half of my journey today, I am at the top of Rendezvous Mountain. Just had an excellent peanut butter and bacon waffle at Colbert's place, I think it was called. And so now I'm all filled up, rested, ready to go. Have about another 7 miles until I get to the upper granite camping zone. So I go down a little bit, and then I'll kind of go back up the granite trail at the very end of my hike. But it is stunning out here. The weather is beautiful, not a cloud in the sky. So this is awesome. Looking forward to it. Let's get after it. All right, I finally have made it to my intersection where I'll be heading up to the Upper Granite Camping Zone. So I'm going to be heading towards Marion Lake, probably somewhere around Open Canyon Junction is where I figure I might be camping at. So we are finally entering the Upper Granite Canyon Camping Zone. This is where I have a permit for tonight. So the way the Grand Tetons does it, at least for the backcountry campsites, is that they have zones and there's no designated spots. You just camp wherever there's free or availability. Obviously they want you to camp in areas where it looks like somebody has camped before, so I'll look for that. And my motto for this kind is, especially after like 14.5 miles, if I find a good one, I'm taking it. So let's see what we can find. I think I found my campsite here. Actually a little earlier than I thought, but it's got great trees. It's got good shade. Easy access to water. So I've hiked about 14.5 miles. I'd say that's a good day. I thought for each night that I'm out here on the Teton Crest Trail Loop that I'd kind of give you a little insight on different pieces of my most important gear that I use. So today, I thought I would show you my shelter. I think I found my 2 trees. I'm gonna do this one here, and I'm gonna do that one there. So let's set up camp. Just like that, hammock set up. Oh yeah, my tarp. Just like that, got my tarp set up. This is my shelter. This is my shelter setup. This is the one I prefer. You see here is my Dutch Chameleon. It is a gathered in hammock, 12 foot. It has a little side sling here, which I keep just a lot of clothes and other things I want to get easy access to. It has a hammock organizer as well, and I love it. I love this hammock. It comes with a bug net as well, and right now I just have it pulled back so I can sit in it and relax. So I use it as a seat, so I don't need to bring a chair most of the time. And that is my hammock. Now let me show you my hammock suspension. So I use a Dutch whoopee sling. So it's a whoopee sling with a Kevlar strap with a Dutch carabiner to help hold it in place, and it's attached to my continuous loop. So I do that on both sides. Works for me really well. It's probably my lightest hammock suspension that I use, and it works really great. Next is my tarp. It is a hammock gear tarp. Right now I have half of it folded back on the other side. Let's check that out. And what I've done is I have stakes where I have a zinget rope that's tied to my stake, and then I attach it to a flea, a Dutch flea, so I don't have to use any knots. And so I stake it out on all 4 different corners. And what I do is, you can see down here, is that I keep, here it is, I'll go ahead and put the stakes in the ground on this side. You can see the rope. The rope helps me find the stake. There it is. So at night, I can go ahead and fully deploy it. It's a 12-foot tarp, and it has doors, so it gives me a little extra protection from the wind and rain, bad weather. So that is my shelter that I use most of the time when I go backpacking. It's one of my favorite setups, and it works out really well for me. So tonight we are having lasagna, Mountain House, one of my favorites. 8 ounces of water, 10 minutes of cooking, good to go. Except my water's boiling. Now we just wait 10 minutes and dinner will be served. For a lot of these dehydrated meals, I put in a lot less water. So for the lasagna one, I think it asked probably for 1.5 cups, which is 12 ounces of water. And so I put in 8. I always put in less. Otherwise it just seems to be runny, and don't like that too much. So it's worked out so well. Worked out so far so well. All right, dinner is served. I even have some of these little Parmesan packets to help it out. One of my favorites. Well, that's it for day one. Day one is in the books. I will admit that I was nervous about coming out here, and I'm not sure why. I've hiked bigger miles in a trip, and I've hiked higher elevation over passes in a trip. So I'm not sure what was, making me so anxious. It could be the grizzly bears. It's my first time camping in grizzly bears, and ever since seeing a bear at Steamboat, it's kind of kept me on edge. And then what do you know, first thing I see, like literally 1.2 miles into the trail, I am, taking pictures of Phelps Lake. I'm at the overlook and not paying attention. And all of a sudden I hear these two ladies yelling, "Hey bear, hey bear." And I just thought, oh, well, they're just, saying that because they're trying to scare potential bears away, like we all do sometimes. Well, then all of a sudden I see this, it wasn't a cub, but it wasn't an adult bear. It was young bear. And it was coming at me towards the trail. And I was like, oh. So I started backing away, and then I started yelling, "Hey bear." And it just kind of stood there on the trail eating berries. And I was like, all right. Then after about 5 minutes, it went down the trail, no issues. And then I went down a switchback, saw 3 more people, and they said there's 2 other bears that are out there. So I was standing by them and heard one rustle maybe 20 yards in front of me, but it was going downhill, so I wasn't too nervous. So I hiked with them for a while until, they branched off and started going up the Death Canyon trail, and I was headed towards Teton Village. At that point, I just turned on my music and just started playing it loud and singing out loud, and then had my bear spray in hand, just ready to rock and roll. So that was, that was a lot this morning, but it was still a beautiful, beautiful day. I hiked probably about 14.5 miles, and, the Death Canyon Trail quickly marries up with the Valley Trail, and I was on that Valley Trail all the way into the Teton Village, which is about 8 miles. And you're walking through the Death Canyon Valley area, Phelps Lake, and it's a beautiful forest. And so it was a really, really nice trail, cruisy, a little up and down, nothing too bad. So it was a pretty easy 8 miles to kind of break in my legs. And then we took the tram up to the top of Rendezvous Mountain, and that was just awesome. I know that's not the quickest way I probably could have gotten to this campsite. I mean, I could have just hiked up Granite Trail and I'd have been here in a lot sooner. But I wanted to experience the tram, so I went to the top of Rendezvous Mountain. I had waffles at the Colbert Cafe, and then I hiked down probably 2,000 feet in elevation, but it was fairly gentle, some good switchbacks. Oh, but it was so beautiful. I was in a forest most of the time, and the wildflowers, and then you'd get these opening views of the surrounding mountains, and it was just stunning today. So it was a great day. I think I found a great camp spot right here next to the water. Great shade, great hanging trees for hanging hammocks, and it looks like it's really going to be ideal. So that's it for day one. Looking forward to day two. Tomorrow we hike up a little bit to the Death Canyon Shelf, and then we hike to Alaskan Basin, which is about 10 miles. So nothing real big. Tomorrow we do have a little bit of a climb first thing in the morning, I believe. But then I hear those views are outstanding. So really looking forward to that. All right. See you later.